I write because a story needs to be told.
I write because I enjoy it.
You can make your imagination go to different levels.
I write because it's the easiest medium for me to express my thoughts and feelings in.
It's a way for people to learn new things.
I write about things that happened to me, like last year when I went on a field trip.
I write about science fiction, I write about romance, I write about anything that has like a fantasy element to it.
I like to write about fantasy and adventure and things that I don't get to do in real life.
I write about a lot of, I guess, more somber things. I feel like some topics are uncomfortable, but even so, they need to be spoken about.
I write about John Wilkes Booth because he's a very interesting character and is tormented in whole different ways.
My grandmother has dementia, and so every time I see her, I typically get inspiration from her.
I love to write about fairy tales and informational writing.
My favorite thing to write about is animals. Peacocks, monkeys, butterflies, and gorillas.
I write like with the internet turned off on my laptop.
I write on a computer because I used to write paper pencil and then I really hurt my wrist one day because I was writing for like hours and then the next day I could barely move my wrist at all.
It's important to me to keep a journal just because I feel like it's a way to write down anything I think about and just keep down ideas. And it's also important to me just so that I can kind of keep a record of who I am and the things I think about through the years.
I write with pencil and paper because with typing I still don't know how to type really good.
I write usually at school because at home I have to do homework and then I have to do all of my chores. So.
I write anytime, basically. I write a lot, just whenever I sit down, certain things come into my head, and so that's whenever I just start writing.
I write mostly after school in my room with my dog.
I write when I'm waiting for my little sister to get out of ballet class. I write whenever.
I started writing in kindergarten, mostly stories about my soccer ball running around on its own. I always thought that my soccer ball was a magical item that could do anything.
In kindergarten, I knew how to spell tomato, and that's what got me into writing because I knew I could spell words that I thought I couldn't spell.
Every time I would visit my grandmother, she would always talk to me, but she would, since dementia is typically repeating things a lot, she would repeat different things, and so I would always have to talk to her very carefully, and I always enjoyed talking to her, and it gave me more insight on what's going on in her mind.
Writing is fun and relaxing because it gets stuff out of you instead of keeping secrets.
It's fun for me because I know how, then I can learn how to spell words.
I love to write because it's so freeing.
If I'm feeling happy, I can write because I get more inspiration if I'm feeling a certain way.
I write because that story is in my head and I need it to be out for other people. I write because it's fun, because it's also benefiting other people other than myself.